Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, reviewing the price action and what I think is likely to happen next. So let's get right down into it. Let's waste no time. Let's just talk price action. Let's keep it nice and brief and on point. So following on from yesterday's video, we were talking about a move to the upside. We're actually saying that we're ranging between these two areas. The low side basically being between 68.3 and 70.1, and the upside between 72.1 and 73.5. I was saying that we're likely to tap into the high range before breaking down to the low range, and well, that's exactly what we saw. Okay, so we saw a move upwards. We failed to kind of hit the highs though, and then we moved on down and we broke the lows. Okay, so this looks like we are kind of, I'm just going to remove the ABC, actually the 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧, we don't need that one for the illustrations of this purpose of the video. So let's go ahead and measure this out. So we have our initial kind of pull to the downside, we had our bounce to the upside, and then we've come down towards the 1-to-1, but we haven't quite got there yet. Okay, I'm just going to go put that on. Our high sits at 72.12. So I'm going to go put that on 1-2. There we go. So we should have come down a little bit deeper, but we haven't. We actually kind of landed just short of the 1-to-1. So it's possible that our C wave has finished here. It doesn't have to hit exactly on the 1-to-1. It's just most typically what you would expect to see. Some more times, most commonly it lands between 1 and 1.236, but in this particular example here you can see that it has basically just moved down a little bit deeper than 882 and not quite on the 1-to-1. So that would have been 66.936. Now the internal workings of this is going to be interesting, so I'm just going to go take this fib and I'm just going to shunt it over to the right. I'm going to take a look at that internal working, and that I'm probably going to come down into a 15-minute time frame. We can see here we went down, we bounced, and then we came down again, and I want to know whether this hits the 1-to-1 or the 1.236. And here you can see it also falls a little bit short. Okay, so again, it's not giving us that idea that we are in a strong position right now. Now it's, again, we still have three wave patterns. We've bounced up a little ways, but it's not looking like it's it's kind of finishing its move. But I suspect it probably has. And so we're kind of getting a potential false flag within this range. Now this particular area where we see this wick down nice and low, I'm just going to remove that, we don't need that. It's basically symbolizing to us an area of demand, right? Now if I go ahead and just draw in a yellow box area right inside here, and I drag it all the way across to the right hand side, you can see that this is a previous area of demand. Okay, we wicked down into it a fair few times, and every time we've tapped into this range, we've bounced from it. Okay, once, twice, now 3 times. And this yellow box is bothering me just a little bit. Let me go and bring a bright yellow in. There we go. So with this, it shows us that this is where buyers are at the moment, okay? And that is basically between 67.38 and 68.577. So a bounce from here was kind of what we were to expect. Now, with that being said, if this is the area of demand, and we've already tapped into it actually 4 times because we tapped into it over here, and we're getting deeper moves every single time we do this, then ultimately we potentially are setting ourselves up for breaking it and turning it into a supply range rather than demand range. So we want to be a little bit cautious here, but for the most part, I would say our next move should be to the upside. Now, momentum looks like it's shifting and changing. We're oversold on the daily, oversold on the 8-hour, oversold on the 4-hour, and just coming out of the oversold on the 1-hour time frame, meaning that there's a lot of momentum to shift us up higher. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see significantly high prices. It just means that we have momentum to push us up slightly higher in the price chart. Equilibrium is an interesting zone, basically sat between the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA. That's going to be the area of focus, I think, for me. That's going to be sitting between 70.3 and 70.5, with the 50 EMA sitting at 70.1 and the 200 EMA sitting at 71.1. Okay, so we can see that there's going to be some resistance right up in this range. So a push upwards towards that, I think, is kind of where we are going to be looking. At the point of recording this video, that would put us at about 1 to 3% move. It's not exactly going to be earth-shattering, but nonetheless it's there. Now, I still suspect that all of this was our B wave movement, and we still have a C wave move to take us down deeper, and I'm still looking at our target range being between 60.6 and 63.2 274. Okay, but until momentum shifts around, we aren't going to see that necessarily play out. So a deeper move to the downside I am expecting. We can see that this move in itself will be an ABC or more of a WXY. I would be looking for this to basically have a 5-wave drop, which we can't quite see just yet. It's a lot of overlapping corrective structures at the moment. If anything, you might argue maybe that there's some kind of curvature to this thing that could lead us into maybe some inverted cup and handle or something like that. I think those are a bit overcomplicated for what they are, but for the most part, I'm just expecting this move to the downside. We'll see if these overlapping structures continue to take us down there, or whether or not we actually have bottomed out within this initial range of 67 to 68. I still want to see this a little bit deeper. I think that's where it needs to go, but maybe we'll have to push up a little bit before we have that move to the downside. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap this video up. Just nice and brief and to the point. If you found it useful, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. If you haven't joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out, linked in at the description below. Until the next one, have a fantastic day.
We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to risk your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.